having a blessing that you don't know you've been given. There are support systems that are within Martin that may not exist in another space. Martin University is in the business of creating success stories. Success stories like me.
Good morning and welcome to Let's Talk Live with Martin U, the live and exciting podcast that brings much needed community conversations to the table. Let's Talk Live with Martin U is an exciting, live, reverent podcast that discusses community involvement, alumni success, and much more that only Martin University can deliver. Today I have published author Asia Ellis with me to discuss her new book, Mental Health, and much more. Thank you for joining me today.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Let's get right into what we're here to talk about, but a little bit of your background first, if you like to discuss that.
Okay, so yes, my name is Asia Ellis. I attended Kentucky State University, which is a HBCU. That's where I got my bachelor's degree in social work, and I also pledged Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. I went on to get my master's from University of Louisville. So ever since then, I moved back home, and I've been working in the field of mental health, and also working in as a therapist with hospice. So I've been kind of getting my feet wet in a little bit of different areas within social services.
What does that entail? You said you do mental health and therapy for hospice care. I know that is very sensitive and a sensitive topic for a lot of families. So, what does the day in the life look like for that?
Ooh, so it can look many different ways. So we have some families that are already prepared and they already know what to expect. So they just desire comfort and support for their loved one towards the end of life. And then we have some families who don't know which direction to go. So they need resources, they need assistance with like planning for end of life burial, for written wills, and just a bunch of different things that a lot of people don't think to prepare for. So that's when I will come into play and just assist them with getting those things out of the way so that they can just, share those last precious moments with their loved one and really just kind of let their hair down and relax. So, like I said, it can go different ways just depending on the family and what they've already prepared for.
With you being in hospice care, as far as being a therapist, what drew you to that specific career path or that specific focus?
Um, I wouldn't say anything in particular, but I did my practicum at the Hospice of Bluegrass when I was in Kentucky in Frankfort, and I actually enjoyed it. It wasn't as like bad as I thought it was going to be. A lot of people think about hospice and they think about death, and they're like, "No, I can't do that." But it was not as bad as I thought it was, and I really enjoyed like offering that extra support to the family. So I was like, okay, this is something that I could do. But when I initially graduated, I didn't even go straight into hospice. I just started working with adults with severe mental disabilities. So it's kind of full circle for me right now that I'm just getting back to, where I started at.
Nice. With you going to an historical Black institution, what made the difference? Because Martin University is the only predominantly Black institution in the state of Indiana. What made the difference being a part of such a cultural environment, learning and growing and becoming an adult and coming into yourself? What makes that difference compared to, you going to the University of Louisville?
Right. Oh my God. A huge difference because when I attended Kentucky State University, I was 17 years old, leaving from home. So, that was my first time being on my own. And it was really like a family. Our campus wasn't a huge campus. We have some HBCUs that are huge campuses. Our campus isn't that big, but everyone had the same end goal in mind. Everyone was just trying to succeed. So it was very refreshing to have like so many people on the same, different career paths, but with that same end goal in mind, that were willing to like help you, be that extra support. A lot of people share the similar stories, came from similar backgrounds. So, to see those familiar faces and for them to be pushing us to succeed on a campus where we had Black instructors, we had a Black dean, we had a Black, president, and those type of things, it meant a lot because they really cared for us, and they really, wanted us to succeed with, not only college, but like life after college, really setting us up. Um, Growing up down there, we had to get jobs, we had to work, some of us didn't have parents that were really able to supply us with what we needed. So I think it helped me mature into the woman that I am today. And it taught me how to be resourceful. It taught me how to lean on other people. It taught me how to create a community and to uplift other Black women and men onto the same path and not tear one another down. And going to U of L, they, of course, it's a great institution. It's a great school, but I noticed that they were not as hands-on with us. They kind of just told us what to do and let us do it. They didn't check in. They didn't make sure you were doing what you were supposed to be doing. They just, either you're going to do it or you're not. Versus
Right.
Kentucky State, if you didn't come to class, you might have had your instructor knocking on your dorm door like, what are you doing? Where were you at? So and I don't say that to say we were enabled, but I say that to say like they really cared for us and what we had going on. So Marion being the only HBCU here in Indiana is amazing. And I think that we need to be pushing a lot of our kids from Indianapolis to go there, because some kids are just scared to go far away from home. But the fact that it's here, and we still have that culture, I think it's amazing. And I think our community needs to rally more around that university to, really show our kids out here what they have to offer. So
I love that. You have your own organization that you founded. Can you talk a little bit about that and then what drew you into wanting to start your own organization?
yes, so my organization is called No Limits. And it's really an organization, and I named it No Limits for that very reason, because I don't success has it's no heights to it. We want to reach what's considered to be unreachable to us. So I named it No Limits because I want people to understand that we can do multiple things. So I'm not just geared towards mental health, but that's my umbrella. But I do writing, journaling, counseling, mental health services. So I'm more so just, people don't realize that journaling, and it could be coloring or anything that you're putting out there or publishing or any of those type of works or anything you're doing is really helping your mental health, because it's a way of self-care. It's a way of expression. So I just kind of put all of that in an umbrella. And so my company, I do offer mentoring, and I do offer therapy, private practice, but I also have that umbrella where I'm assisting people with publishing books, with different creative works, or things like that. So just giving us a platform to express ourselves and talk, in a positive light.
What is the importance for people within the Black community to focus on their mental health, or to figure out what their niche is to, get through tough times or certain circumstances? What would you say is the emphasis towards, gearing towards mental health and helping yourself if you identify like I'm not okay, or
Right.
things are going in the wrong direction? How do I cope? Or even as a Black man or a Black woman, how do they cope with certain things that has kind of been normalized in our society that, isn't normal?
Right. And I think you hit a key point of, we have normalized a code of silence on our mental health. And it's one of those things where we were all taught like, what happens in our house stays in our house, or
Mm-hmm.
you'll be okay. Those people don't care. They don't care about you. They just want the money and those type of things. But I think it's like extremely important for us to get to a space where we understand that it's okay to not be okay, and
Mm-hmm.
it's okay to identify those areas where you need help. What am I struggling with? If I'm struggling with this, I'm not the only person struggling with it. A lot of times we might think like, nobody's going to understand my story, or nobody's like, what are they going to do? If I'm telling them my problems, what is that going to do to help me? But in all reality, actually expressing yourself and actually talking it out, and, finding those solutions to those problems and ways to cope can benefit you in the long run, versus suppressing those feelings and those thoughts and emotions, where you end up, crashing out. You end up on a crash course because you don't realize that all this has been building up and I haven't taken care of myself at all. A lot of people just think about going to the doctor and the dentist, but your head is the leading of your body. Without a positive mental, you're off track, you're off balance. So people don't realize a lot of things come with that. So I think it's extremely important. And I think that, it takes time. But for those people that don't feel comfortable with therapy, that's why I suggest, different things such as writing or journaling, or, just mentoring, or just finding those natural supports and family and friends, or outside, within your community, that can be that for you if you don't necessarily feel comfortable with actually going to a therapist.
I love that. I know you mentioned the topic, what goes on in the house stays in the house, or certain people don't care. But with you being a hospice therapist, what does it look like after their loved one transitions? What do you provide to those family members after the fact? Or who is the person to provide a resource after the fact with grief?
Right. So I offer bereavement services. So that's just like grief support, grief counseling. We have also started a group that offers grief support during the process of the transition, because grief doesn't just start at the end. People start to grieve people as soon as, this process starts, or as soon as they get sick. We can grieve people that are alive. So grief isn't just something that it comes with death. So we also have a group that starts during the transition, and then afterwards we offer bereavement services, which is not something that's long term. So after the bereavement services, we often suggest therapy, or we often suggest them becoming a part of some type of group or community support, so that they can continue to get that ongoing counseling.
With a lot of people that look like us in our communities and they're not comfortable, you mentioned journaling or coloring, or anything that's, self-care and self-help. You just released a book recently. Can you talk to me about what that is, what it's called, and what that is for?
Yes, so I actually have a copy right here. So it's called Limitless. So it's a 90-day journal. So about a year ago, my father passed, and I struggled a lot with it. So within my grief, I was trying to find ways that, I felt like I could honor him, and ways that I can push through, just dealing with the loss of him. And so I decided to write a book. So it's a 90-day journal to like change your habits, your mind, and your lifestyle on what we call the grind. And so when I say the grind, I mean just like you progressing towards goals you have set in your life. So this is more so the mental health standpoint of it. So when we are focused on a goal or a grind, we have like, maybe we want to save more, maybe we want to work out more, maybe we just have different goals that we set. This book is more so the mental health offset to that. So, we want to talk about, hey, when's the last time have you taken care of yourself? Or, hey, are you paying attention to the people and the things you're surrounding yourself with? Or, hey, let's talk about the fear of success. A lot of us are scared to fly. So I have a chapter in here called "But What If You Fly," and that chapter is geared more so towards us having fears of I'm not going to do that because I'm scared to fail. But everything that we want is on the other side of fear. So this book is more so geared towards us taking 90 days to really say, who am I? Who do I want to be? How do I show up as my highest self? Okay, once I've identified who my highest self is, I'm showing up as such. Now, throughout the rest of these 90 days, what do I need to do to get myself right mentally as I am on this grind? So I do have financial goals, or I do have physical goals, but my mental goal, this is just kind of asking me questions that maybe I've never asked myself before, or maybe I need some reassurance in these different areas. So this book is just to kind of help your mind get those screws going during those times of where you're goal setting.
So, what is the end goal after the 90 days that you're able to see as measurable for your readers at the end of the book?
Right. So at the end of the book, our end goal is for you to have clarity. So we don't want to put a measurable cap to where we'll say you should have done X, Y, and Z, or
Mm-hmm.
you should do this. Everyone's mental clarity is going to be different. It's going to be on different spectrums. So we just want you to feel after this 90 days, this was an eye opener to me. Some of these, I never thought about some of these things, or some of these questions are things that I never, occurred to me. So maybe I need to look more into this area, or maybe I need to focus more on my self care. We want after this 90 days for someone to say, okay, I just did 90 days of this and I realized I don't take care of myself. Or I just did 90 days of this and I realized that I'm fearful of success. Or maybe I have anxiety about a certain area, or maybe I don't have a mentor. I didn't realize, because I have a chapter in here that asks, when was the last time you asked for help? Maybe I don't ask for help. So we just want to bring mental clarity to you and to your life to say, hey, these are some of the things that I never thought about. These are some areas that I need to fix, that I can do water, like, I can water so that my grass can be greener. Versus me comparing myself to others and things like that.
What were you able to take from your book and from beginning to end, and even in the process of you conducting your own, self-healing and your own journey within 90 days? What were you able to take from that? Because it's different from writing it and, being the teacher of something, but actually putting yourself through the process as well. It can be eye-opener,
Yep.
like you said, and you can learn things over and over. It's like you watch a movie once and then you watch it again and you pull different things from it. So what did it look like
Right.
for you going into, creating this book and this piece of work, into actually doing the work within the book?
Right. And that is, I'm so happy you asked me that question, because I'm actually in the process of doing the book now. And I want to say I'm on day like 13.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's so funny, because I was like, well, I'm gonna breeze through this because I wrote it and I know what
Mm-hmm.
it says. And but as I'm going through it, I'm like, have I asked myself this question before? And so and it was a specific chapter that says, when's the last time you asked for help? And I was sitting there and I was like, when is the last time I've asked somebody for help? Like, and I realized in that moment that I am a person that takes my independence, and sometimes I take it to a level that it shouldn't be. And
Mm-hmm.
so I had to sit down and I had to, self evaluate, and I had to tell myself, like, it's okay to ask for help. There are times where I need help too. I don't know everything. I'm still learning, and, things like that. So I think that particular moment brought some clarity to me to say, okay, you do need to ask for help. And then they ask, like, who would you consider a mentor? When's the last time have you spoken to this mentor? And those type of things. And I said, that's crazy, because I can identify who I consider to be a mentor, but I don't check in with my mentor like that.
Mm-hmm.
So just kind of showing me some areas that I need to water, and things that I need to do better for myself. And so I think by the end of this 90 days, I'm going to bring clarity within myself of just different things that I want to work on. And then just, creating the book within itself. I call people. So I was asking people like questions,
Mm-hmm.
I was asking, like, when you set goals, or what's something that you can think of that you're scared of, or what's something that you feel like stops you or blocks you. So I kind of asked questions and kind of did my, like, a little kind of interview with
Mm-hmm.
family and friends and people that I knew, to kind of give me some content that I can say, okay, these are things that we all kind of need to work on. And then I
Mm-hmm.
kind of put that in the book. I also have quotes from different people within my life and within our community that go along, correspond with the book. For instance, Fancy Flossy Consulting, she has a lock seed company. She does locks and twist locks here. But one of her quotes is, planting seeds and producing visions. And I love that. And I put that before our grass is greener where you water it chapter, because I felt like, we have to plant those seeds that we want to see grow, to produce those visions, so that we can be successful and ultimately achieve the goals we have set for ourselves. So that's pretty much, where me going through this book, those are just kind of little reminders and things that I hope to get out of it for myself.
I like that you mentioned the grass is greener and things like that. With you mentioning earlier about finances and how to budget and things like that, times is hard for a lot of people right now, whether it's layoffs or, the rent is increasing everywhere. So what
Mhm.
does that look like within your book without you giving away, every step by steps and things like that? What can somebody look forward to with either grasping the concept of something or learning something new?
Mhm.
What does that look like?
So when you say you were saying like grasping the concept of learning something new as far as like to keep
Finances.
going, finances.
Hmm.
So I more so did not gear anything towards like financial actual per se budget. I do have something that is like a budget in here, but it's a mental budget. So you
Okay.
more so are adding and subtracting, you're depositing or withdrawing things from your life.
I love
So
that.
it's more so from a mental standpoint. So
Hmm.
it's going to more so ask you what deposits do you need to make to reach your goal for from a mental standpoint, and what withdrawals do you need to make. I do have a recession proof chapter in here, because I thought about COVID and how everybody
Hmm.
was like going through this and like we're in a recession and all this stuff. But that chapter is more so saying how do you stay ready so you don't have to get ready. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? We've seen that things can happen unexpectedly. So
Right.
that particular chapter is more so like what can you do to secure yourself within your business, within whatever you have going on, so that you can stay ready. So in the event of something drastic happening, you don't have to get ready.
Okay. Nice. I like that. That's really dope. I wanted to ask you, what is one thing that if you only had to do one pitch, like just one take from your book, and how are you going to sell this book to people? What are you going to say to them to draw them into wanting to, rediscover themselves or go on a 90-day journey? What are you going to
Mhm.
tell somebody?
I would just tell somebody that, we our goals and the things that we want to achieve, we should view it from a limitless standpoint. We should view it to identify that we are able to obtain what is considered to be not reachable for us. I think we have been conditioned to believe that we have to be in these boxes.
Mm,
And I want Limitless to open up your mind and give you a broader perspective of like, I can achieve anything that I want to achieve, literally. And what steps do I have to take to achieve that? What have I been doing to stand in my own way so that, I'm not, what's hindering my success? Myself. 9 times out of 10, it's us. So this, book is just to help you identify like, what do I really need to do so that I can reach what is considered to be unreachable to me, because I can literally achieve anything that I want to achieve. So, I just would tell them like, if you want to have a limitless mindset and you really want to achieve your goals and you want to clear out whatever debris and whatever's hindering you, then this would be the book for you.
how can somebody purchase this book?
So I do have a website that will be on my Instagram soon, but as of right now, then someone can just come to my Instagram. So it'll be underscore ADANYA. So again, it's underscore ADANYA. And just I accept direct messages. Also, I'm on Facebook under Asia Ellis. And so if they just write me or send me a direct message, I deliver, or I do drop offs within the Indianapolis area. But within the next probably 30 days, I'll actually have a website.
Nice. Are you going to have it on Amazon to purchase?
It's on Amazon right now. It's on Amazon right now. So when you go on Amazon, you type in Limitless, but you also type in 90-day journal with it. Because if you only type in Limitless, it'll be a bunch of other books that you're not looking for.
Hmm.
So when you type in this one, just put Limitless and you also put 90-day journal, but we are on Amazon.
And how can somebody contact you in regards to the organization No Limits, or if they need counseling advice, therapy, grief
Mhm.
therapy? How can you be a resource to them that are, watching this right now?
Right. So you can contact me via email at no limits mh@yahoo.com. So it's just no limits mh@yahoo.com. And then just will send me an email basically inquiring about whatever their questions are. And then I get back within 24 to 48 hours, business days. and then we go from there. So I typically like to do a consultation. So if someone was to reach out to me, I will first do a consultation to kind of see exactly what they want, to make sure that I can provide them with the services that they need. Because of course I'm not gonna just, try to fit it if I'm not gonna benefit them. So I'll just make sure that we're a perfect fit for one another. In the event that we are, we'll proceed from there. But in the event that we're not, I will offer them resources or a way to help find and get their questions answered
Mm-hmm.
outside of the services that I provide.
Okay. Also, what else are you willing to share about what you have planned for the future? What the rest of your 2023 looks like? We have 5 months left.
Yes.
So, what other goals are
Yes.
you trying to achieve before this year is up? Because it's like blink and we're about to be in December.
I know, right? So, I do have some products that are going to be coming out that are going to be good for mental health. Again, I'll have a self care journal that I'll be publishing. I have some mental health products that I want you guys to use. I know we like candles and aromatherapy, so those type
Mm-hmm.
of things. And then I will be rolling out my full services online. So I have a lot of great things that I want to present to our Black community, especially our millennials, just to kind of keep us going and keep us flowing so that we don't, get lost really in the sauce of what's going on around us, and making sure that, it's longevity. We're focused on lasting. So
All right. Well, I definitely thank you for joining us. And again, congratulations on your book.
thank
That is huge.
you.
That's a big, big deal. So,
Thank you
congrats
so much.
on that. But yes, that is all that I have for you guys. Make sure that you definitely purchase this 90-day journal to walk you through, and it's Limitless by Miss Asia
Yes.
Ellis. So don't wait, because there's a good chance that these is going, you're gonna miss your mark, because we gotta
Right.
reorder more stuff, all that good stuff. So make sure you go out and purchase this book. Help ours, help our community continue to network. And again, thank you so much, Asia, for joining me
Thank
and sharing
you.
your platform with my platform. It always is a pleasure. That is all I have for you guys. Again, I'll see you same place, same time next week on Let's Talk Live with Martin Yu. Bye.
All right. Bye.
It's like having a blessing that you don't know you've been given. There are support systems that are within Martin that may not exist in another space. Martin University is in the business of creating success stories. Success stories like me.